everyone. Welcome back to our channel. And in this video today, we will be discussing about various MBA exams and English syllabus for MBA exams. And once we discuss the syllabus, we will slowly, in our next coming videos, we will begin to discuss on those syllabuses for various MBA exams, and we will help you prepare for those sections. So beginning with the video, first of all, let us cover the syllabus of CAT first. First of all, so in CAT we can see that the English pattern, the pattern of English section, has been changing from quite a long time. There is not a certain fixed pattern when it comes to vocabulary section. When it comes to reading comprehension section, we can see that the pattern is constant. The difficulty of paras is increasing day by day, and we cannot say that the difficulty of paras has decreased. In CAT 2022, in CAT 2021, the difficulty of paras is a bit lesser than the CAT 2021. Sorry, the CAT 2020. But in verbal ability section, we can see that there is a change of one or two questions, and there is a change of pattern of, in one or two questions every year. But that set of questions, that set of your everything that you have to cover remains constant. There is no change in the syllabus. The question either comes from a specific set or it doesn't. If it doesn't come from a specific set, it comes from another specific set. Okay, so there is like a change of sets while putting questions in verbal ability section. So we will be discussing all those sections in detail. We'll be discussing what comes as per grammar, as per verbal ability, verbal reasoning, what comes as per reading comprehension, para jumbles, and all of that. So this is regarding CAT. Similarly, we will be discussing the topics that are dealt or that is covered in other MBA exams as well, that is XAT, IIFT, Nmat, then you have SIBM, IIFT, and other, CMAT also. But that I think CMAT is on a easier level, so we will not be covering CMAT for this video. Other than that, we can say MyCat exam as well. But since MyCat English comprehension is on a higher level, so we will be covering that in the next video. But so to say, the English syllabus that comes mostly in CAT, IIFT, XAT, and these MBA exams, they are quite similar to what comes in your bank exams as well. So if you are if you're an aspirant of banking exams, and if you're an aspirant of UPSC also, then I think that this video will be of a great use to you, because we are actually cracking the code of cracking any kind of English questions. We are just cracking the code here. I will crack all the code for you in a way that you will be able to solve the English section of any exam given, that is MBA or UPSC or any MBA exam, within 20 to 25 minutes. So this speed, I think, is very important for any exam, because once you solve your English questions in 20 to 25 minutes with a certain accuracy, so you have a lot of time, you have an ample time to cover or to solve questions of quant, to solve questions of data interpretation, and to solve other questions like of logical reasoning or any other section that you want to cover. So I think that English plays a very important part in cracking any exam, because if you have a good hold upon the English section, then it also increases your confidence actually. So let's say that you have started your, because I feel that English is one of the most easiest sections of any exam. So once you also feel this, and you know that you have you can solve your English section, the complete English section in 20 to 25 minutes, then you think you have a hold on that section. So what I used to do when I was preparing was that I used to solve the whole English section within 15 to 20 minutes. Now, when you aim to solve the whole section within 15 to 20 minutes with accuracy, what happens is that you are not obliged to solve each and every question also, because see, every exam has a certain cutoff that you need to qualify and that you should qualify. And if you start solving every question, then because you necessarily do not want to top that exam until that exam is a written exam. So if it is an MCQ based paper, then if you have solved uh, correctly a certain number of questions, then you will easily crack the cutoff for that section. So if you decide on how many questions you have to solve, if you decide on your strategy well, then you can take out the optimum, you can use your time optimally in solving those particular questions after you have chosen them. And you will not be bothered about all the questions in the section. You will only be bothered about, let's say, 20 questions in a set of 30 question paper 30 questions paper. And like, let's understand how this works. Let's say that you have divided, let's take for example the paper of XAT. So the XAT paper does not have a time limit on each section, on sectionals. So you have only 40 minutes. Let's say I have divided my time as per 40 minutes, 40 minutes, and 40 minutes for each section. So now what happens is that if I save my 20 minutes in English section, then I can give 10 minutes and 10 minutes more. That is 50 to 50 minutes in logical reasoning and in quant. So having said this, if you decrease your time limit, then you have to decrease your number of questions that you can solve. When you decrease the number of questions that you can solve, then you can easily solve those many questions in 30 minutes also. You can easily solve the questions that you need to crack the cutoff of that section, and you can focus on a particular set of questions. You can give your full attention to those questions and not bother about the other 10 questions that you may or may not attempt. Now this is true for CAT also, because in CAT we can see that the number of questions attempt does not matter, but the accuracy matters a lot. So let's say that from last 2 years, we can see that there are 26 questions in the set of English. So it's not necessary to solve all the 26 questions. So what happens is that sometimes the para that you have to choose, sometimes when you begin to solve all the questions, that is, you aim to top the CAT exam. So let's say you aim to top the CAT exam, and you think about solving all the 26 questions within the 30 minutes that you have been given for the English section, because there is a sectional limit in CAT. So I think there is only 30 to 35 minutes only for each section. So now what happens is that when you start solving those 26 questions in 30 minutes, it becomes very tedious job to do. And while you are solving it, you lose your accuracy. While you are solving all the questions, you lose your accuracy, because you have to spend equal amount of time for each question, and you have only that much amount of time. Now this is not the strategy that we should apply. Instead, we should apply the strategy that can help us crack the cutoff of English section of CAT. So let's say that I resolved to attempt 18 questions. Now, taking out the 8 questions from my set, I have only 18 questions. Now I have 30 minutes, and that makes a lot of difference within for the time that I have for each question now. So earlier, the time of one minute that I was giving to each question, now I can give 2 minutes to each question, and now I can think properly. Now, this strategy you have to decide beforehand at home itself. You cannot just go into the examination hall and you decide that, oh, now I think that I can only solve 18 questions and I will solve only 18 questions, because that is not how you have practiced. If you have practiced this strategy, then you can apply that strategy in the examination. So while you solve your question papers itself at home, then you have to make this strategy and solve accordingly. So why I say that try to crack the exam, try to crack the English section in 15 to 20 minutes is it's because solving 15 to 16 to 18 questions in 15 minutes is not a very tedious job until and unless you think that it is a very tedious job. Because see, it takes practice, obviously, I know. In, let's say, for example, the examination of banking, where time limit is of utmost importance, I think that only 20 minutes per section is awarded for 60 questions each section. So it's really impossible to think about solving 60 questions per section and only having 20 minutes per section. So 60 questions in 20 minutes is unsolvable or undoable. So now here, this strategy of just targeting a particular set of questions that can help you crack the cutoff is very important in papers of banking also, to say. So in order to solve your English section in 15 to 20 minutes, you have to have a lot of what do you say, understanding of the topic, of the subject, of the English subject. You have to have a good hold on grammar. You have to have a good hold on vocabulary. You have to have a good hold on reading comprehension as well, because the most time consuming thing that I have felt in examinations is reading comprehension and parajumbles also. I think parajumbles is something, if you do not have that strategy, then it is impossible to solve the parajumbles properly. So first of all, I would like to start with the sorry for the disturbance. Yeah. So as I was saying that let's start with discussing the syllabus first of each MBA exam and banking exam as well. I think the syllabus remains the same, and for UPSC also, I think the syllabus remains the same. You just have to study a syllabus once and for all, and you just have to go and give the exam. You have to have the technique, obviously. So yes, let's discuss. Let's start with discussing the syllabus first. So I'll just share my screen with you people. Yeah. So as you can see in my screen, I have compiled a list of the syllabus of each MBA exam, that is CAT, XAT, IIFT, Nmat, and SIBM. Okay. So what happens is that if you see the syllabus, let's start with CAT. So in CAT, you can see that the syllabus is quite simple. It says questions based on RC, inference, sentence completion, parajumbles, and yes, that's it. Because these days, from last 2 years, questions based on vocabulary are very less in CAT. So questions based on sentence completion, inference, and antonym and synonym. I think one or two questions of antonym and synonym also come in CAT, but I would also like to add here sentence completion and summary. Summary questions are also coming a lot. So in that they will give you a paragraph and then they will ask you to summarize in 1 or 2 lines. So these 4 set of questions are quite common in CAT. Okay, so in vocabulary section you can see there is not much. In vocabulary section you will have 1 or 2 questions of these antonym synonym, and apart from that you will have 1 or 2 questions of odd ones out, and that's it. Okay, so let's break up the reading comprehension and vocabulary section questions. So you can see that 8 to 9 questions come of vocabulary, we should say. Then 3 to 4 questions of parajumble, sentence completion, and some all these 3 combined, you have at least 8 questions. And you have 4 questions of sentence, parajumble, and summary, and then the remaining set of questions are coming from RC. Okay, so let's say there are 3 RCs, so 5 questions each, 15 questions of RC. Okay, so this is the breakup of your CAT syllabus. Now similar syllabus is of XAT, but there are some extra things, that is correction and errors in each sentence, correction of error in sentences, correct usage of words. There is completion of paragraph is also there in XAT, yeah, which is different from parajumbles or summary. Okay, so sentence completion and paragraph completion is same, but sentence completion is a small part, that is only a sentence, you have to complete only a sentence. But paragraph completion is you have to complete the whole para, you have to conclude also sometimes. Okay, so this, I think this section is also there in completion of para section, is also there in CAT. So I will add that in CAT as well. Okay, now you can see one thing unique about that is RC. So reading comprehension based questions and the reading comprehension based questions are included of poems also. So there is poems RC also in XAT, which is not in CAT. Okay, so this is one difference in XAT and CAT syllabus of reading comprehension. So let's come to IIFT syllabus. So in IIFT syllabus, there is quite a varied set of questions of English. You can see there is para formation, there is fill in the blanks. Now fill in the blanks section is very new. It does not come in XAT or CAT, but it comes in IIFT, it comes in Nmat, Then there is antonym synonym in IIFT syllabus. Then there is prepositions, correct usage of prepositions, there is correct usage of grammar questions, there is analogy question, there is spelling, there is matching word meanings, then there is figure of speech, there is odd one out, there is a lot of questions in IIFT that you have to focus. So basically the whole English knowledge is judged in IIFT's English section. Now Nmat. So in Nmat there is more of critical thinking, more of inference, more of conclusion and assertion based questions. There is statement and argument, statement and assumption, statement and inference. Then there is some decision making RCs. There is critical reasoning, there is synonym, antonym, certain conventional word questions, analogies, fill in the blanks. There is closed test in Nmat, and of course there is an RC also. Okay, so there is not a lot of questions. There are not a lot of questions on poem based RCs, but basic general para based RCs, and decision making and course of action questions also are there. Yeah, so this is for Nmat. And Nmat syllabus is also quite vast and quite varied as compared to CAT and XAT syllabus. In SIBM, you can see again that there is a lot of verbal ability based questions, that is synonym and antonym, jumble, para. There is a homonym also. I'll add homonym. In SIBM, then they have one word substitution. There is odd one out, sentence completion, manias and phobias. In SIBM, there is jumble paragraph, and a lot of questions, reading comprehension. Then there is different usage of same word. This is what is homonym is. Homonym, yeah. So, and all these things. So you can see that the course is same. There is verbal ability, grammar, and there is RC. But the extent of questions, the extremity of questions, and the number of questions in SIBM, XAT, Nmat, CAT, IFT, and all these things are different. So while CAT and XAT do not completely exploit your knowledge of verbal ability, but they completely exploit your knowledge of RC, while NIMS and Nmat and IFT, these tests, completely exploit your verbal ability part. Okay, so it's very important to first focus that what you want to crack. Let's say that you want to crack CAT. Okay, so for CAT, it will not be very necessary to prepare words, antonym, synonym, and all these things. You obviously have to know the questions, the CAT-based words that may or might come in CAT, but you don't have to do an extensive preparation of all these things for CAT or XAT. If you are preparing for Nmat, IIFT, SIBM, and CMAT, then you have to have a good and a thorough understanding of vocabulary questions, vocabulary section, critical reasoning, critical analysis is present in CAT and XAT also. So critical analysis or critical thinking is a very different or a vast concept that we'll be discussing later in this section. The second most important thing is para jumbles. You can see that para jumbles is something that comes in each and every test. So be it banking, be it CAT, be it SIBM or anything. So para jumbles you have to practice. The more you practice, the more you ace. Other than that, you have RC. Now, RCs also are, the length of RCs also change depending on the exam that you are giving. So if you have aimed for cracking CAT, then you have to solve a certain length of RC. Or sometimes what happens is that the length of RC might not be so much in CAT, but the complexity of RC in CAT is quite high. The length of RC can increase in IIFT, but the complexity of RC in IIFT is not that much as of CAT. The length of RC is not that much in XAT, but it can be a lot in IIFT. Okay, so you can get 2 to 3 paragraph of RC in CAT and XAT, but the complexity will be quite higher. You can get 1 para RC in Nmat. The complexity can be very low, very basic. You can get 5 to 6 para RC in IIFT. And the complexity will be quite on a medium level, so you have to prepare accordingly. So if you are preparing for CAT, you have to be ready for facing a certain level of RC, certain level of complexity in RC. You cannot just focus on simple RCs and lengthy RCs while solving or aiming for CAT or XAT. Now, coming to XAT, RC is poem RC is one of the unique things in XAT. So poem RCs are quite short. They will be giving you 1 or 2 proses of a poem, and or paras of a poem, stanzas we can say, and you have to solve answers based on those stanzas. Now, sometimes what happens that we have read that poem, like this year, I think the poem which came was the Little Mermaid's poem, and I really liked the poem. I was able to understand it completely, and I was able to solve the whole RC completely. So it's sure luck when you know the poem, you are able to solve the whole RC of poem RC completely. But sometimes, like last year, there was a poem that came, and it was completely out of the blue. So while cracking or while targeting poem RCs, you should solve questions. You should have solved questions based on poem RCs. You should know the pattern of poem RCs. What are the how are the answers made, the multiple choice answers made, what answer should you check at that particular time. Then there is one more thing, figure of speech, the literary device used by the poet, and the rhythm of the poem. You should know, and you should study these topics while studying for poem RC. So yes, we will be discussing all these things in detail. I will be explaining how I studied everything, what material I have used, how I used to solve these questions within 15 to 20 minutes, I solve the whole section of English in 15 to 20 minutes. We will be discussing everything, but this video is only for discussing the syllabus and making you understand the breaking up the syllabus for you people for each and every exam. So we will not be discussing in detail regarding the preparation strategy in this video. Okay, so let's coming on to Nmat exam. So I think we have already discussed the Nmat exam, but I would like to discuss again that first of all, in Nmat, the questions based on critical thinking are a lot. You have questions based on decision making. You have questions based on RCs based on decision making. You have RCs based on assumption, reasoning, conclusion, and all that. You have fill in the blanks questions a lot in Nmat. Now in Nmat, time is very important because there are a lot of questions in RC in English, and you have quite less time to solve that. You have only 30 minutes or something to solve a question set of 40, I think, or 60, I think, in English in Nmat. And time is a very important factor in Nmat. Also, accuracy is very important factor in Nmat because you cannot go back to the question once you have given the answer. So there is not even an option of marking the question for review. If you just go, you have to solve all the questions because there is no negative marking in Nmat, but you have to solve those questions correctly. Now, in solving all the questions in Nmat, there is also a strategy that I will be sharing with you when I will be discussing the Nmat section, or how to crack the Nmat. So I think these things are very important. How you strategize your preparation is very important. You should know the breakup of your syllabus and everything before going or sitting for any exam. You should just make your own strategy, how you can minimize your time in a particular section, how you can give more time to another section. These things help you really help you increase your confidence. And yes, I hope you liked this video. I will be coming with the strategies of each exam very soon. I will be coming with each section very soon. I will be discussing RCs. I will be discussing how to solve RCs within a limited time frame, how to approach RC, how to approach inference based or para-jumbles questions. These are very, very crucial things that we should know before preparing. And I think these things are something that I have cracked the strategy myself, And yeah, because since I was preparing earlier also, uh, with a coaching institute also, I don't think that I was able to work in the way that they work. So I started my own working pattern. I started just cracking the code for my own self. And since I have cracked the code for my own self, I think that I have gained my own confidence. And even if you are seeing this video, even if my code helps you, but I should uh, I will motivate you to take inspiration from my video and crack the code for your own self. Maybe my code or my strategy does not work for you, so your own strategy might work, but it is really important to have a strategy. If not yours, then mine. Thank you so much, and we'll meet in the next video very soon.